What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel and Teaching Tuesday, where we try to dispel false information that's given without context. So we try to give you the context so success can be made tangible and you can find a pathway to go work and go get better so you can be successful. So in this one, in our last video, we talked about dropping our shoulders, where that came from. If you haven't watched it, go peep it real quick. You really like it, great. It'll feed right into what we're doing right here. Okay, so within that, we talked a little bit about shoulder tilt, and we had some other people ask us if we do another video on this, right? So shoulder tilt versus dropping my shoulders. So first of all, let's define shoulder tilt, okay? So shoulder tilt is just a fancy word and fancy phrase for the angle that your shoulders have, right? And the tilt that they have to get to the baseball, right? So if you think about it, everyone has tilt, right? You have to get this way, and your shoulders have to be at a certain point, and your shoulders have to be angled at a somewhat up angle just to get there, right? The only way that it really can't is on a ball up here, right? So let me explain. So I'm not saying that you have to swing up and hit the ball right above you, but what I'm saying is that as the ball's coming in at an angle, your shoulders will match that angle so you have a chance to hit the ball with a level swing, okay? Whether you think this, like whether you think swing this, or whether you think swing like that, you have tilt and you have shoulder tilt, okay? So that's really that's just a basic way to understand it, is right, just kind of the angle, right, that I start with, and the angle, and then the tilt of how I have to get to the ball, right? On a lower pitch, I'm gonna have a little bit more tilt, right? On a higher pitch, I don't have to, right? Because I'm kind of right here, and then I can just operate straight to the ball, right? So the tilt is just like, okay, where do I need to where's the angle of my shoulders when I'm going to get the ball, right? There's another side bend. That's another terminology that goes with that. So again, a side bend, a lot of times you're doing it. If you're hitting a low pitch, you're doing side bend. So side bend is not necessarily something to overanalyze, but it's more just to understand that it is there, and if you need to measure it, you can, okay? So that shoulder tilt really just what I tell guys is just kind of, where's your collarbone? Where's the angle of your collarbone, right? Like, how is that set up? And so, like, where do we have to get to get a low and outside pitch? Well, I've got to be in my legs, but I've got to be bent over, then I'm going to have more tilt to get to the ball, right? As you can see, like, I'm not swinging up. I'm not dropping my shoulders and swinging up, okay? So if the ball is coming down, a downward angle, right? And it's getting to me at my knees or close to my knees, right? My body is going to have to lean over and make adjustments for me to get there, right? So again, you can think down, you can think up, you can think, there is a down part of the swing, right? This part, like getting to the ball, there is a down part. There is a matching plane, right? All of that comes down to, like, it works together, right? All those things work together to help us have a good swing. Okay, so being able to have shoulder tilt and have, like, that's a have to. You do it right now, whether you think you do or you're not, right? Let's look at these pro guys and their tilt, and then go from there. So see, everybody has them, and I put guys in there that specifically think this or think this, and that are opposites, right? They all have tilt, we all have it, and it all can be measured, okay? Again, if you think this, great. If you think this, okay. If you think anywhere in between, great. We all got shoulder tilt, and we all need to learn what it is so we can figure out, okay, am I doing the things that we talked about in last week's video to cause me to drop my shoulder? or am I approaching the ball too steep? Which again is probably even going to go back to what we talked about in the last video with the hips and the pelvis and the stuff like that, right? But shoulder tilt is one of those catchphrases that's really caught on, right? Whether you're a person on this side that hates the new terminology, or you're a person that's on this side that loves everything, right? We've got to understand what it is, what it's measuring, and what it's trying to help us do, right? So the shoulder tilt is really just like, you know, trying to help us measure, like, okay, like, am I staying level with the ball? So don't think level straight, because that's not where the ball's coming in from, right? Think level with the ball. So is my shoulder angle, right, needs to be level with the baseball where it's coming, right? And now it gets hard, right, on sliders, and gets hard on other things, right? You've still got to be able to match that, but it's going to change, and that's where the adjustability in our lower half and our leg and our hands comes from, right? Which is why we want to be sequentially good in order, which is why we want to, like, you know, wait as long as we can to see the ball and all these different things, right? So like, but that shoulder tilt is going to happen, and we need to be aware of it, and we need to be aware of what's affecting it and causing it to be good, causing it to be bad, anything like that, right? But you have shoulder tilt, okay? Again, whether you think I'm shooting my hands down like this, or I think I'm coming down a half pipe and then I'm shooting up, whichever way you think, you have shoulder tilt, and it is affected by the height of the ball, the speed of the ball, but it is also affected by your hips. Okay, and what your hips do, and I would say, like, I'll say it this way, what your lower half does, what the inside parts of your hips and your pelvis do, not just the outside parts, okay? We've got to be really good there in understanding what it is and where it comes from and how it affects that, because that's really the biggest part of it. Because like we have these phrases, we have these terminologies, we have these things, so we can better understand why we're doing something and understand it, and understand it to be able to fix it. So like, you may be a guy, you may be a girl that needs it high level. I don't need all the details. Don't give me the mechanics. Like, that's great, all that stuff now, but how do I keep it simple? Great, like, right? But still, like, you may not go into the same amount of depth as somebody else, but like, understanding your shoulder tilt, where it comes from, why it's important, is still vital to your swing. It'll make it, the understanding these concepts will make your slumps shorter and your hot streaks longer. Then hopefully in between, we're much more consistent. So that's what I wanted you to be able to chop up. There's the context. Think about it, talk about it with others, and understand how it helps your swing and how it helps you in the mind of a hitter, okay? So if you want to keep being helped as a hitter, hit that subscribe so I can keep seeing you, because it gives me motivation, and I want to keep giving you stuff that I didn't have so you can be better than me. All right, subscribe and see ya!